Hey everybody, Mike here. Mike's Computer Tips with another video. In this video, I want to go over all the different things about my computers, all the parts, my whole setup, everything that I do here in my what I call the lab. It's my computer room in my home, but I call it the lab, because this is where I get stuff done, make videos. This is where I play people's videos, where I search the internet, just like everybody else. Also work on computers here in my shop, because I do fix computers for people in Brevard County in this area of Florida. So people will drop off their computers to me and I'll fix them for them, or I'll go to their house or their office and I'll fix them on site. So basically I have a whole box of these screws. They're all different kinds of screws, and on a computer you got all kinds of stuff, different size screws for motherboard, for the case screws, and I have all different kinds. If I ever need an extra screw, I can take it from here. So I just have all these packs. And then I have these little things that you plug in and you use like a wireless keyboard. I don't know, over the years I've accumulated so many of these, so I got 5 extras. And then I have these pins that I can hang my business cards up certain places. Like if I go to a supermarket, I'll put a business card in there if they have a board. I keep these with me. I also have my business cards, which this is my new card. I don't know if you can see it good, but that's my new business card. And at the gym, I'll put a bunch of business cards at different places, anywhere where I see a board or something where you can put a card up. Usually I try to put a couple cards up. And these screws I usually keep here, so if I'm doing any work at home, I'll have these different screws if I need them, and I even have my phone number on the box if I ever lose it. Because sometimes I do take these out on jobs if I need screws. It really depends. And on this other one, this is like my main box. I take this to all the on-site computer jobs I do. It's just a plastic bin I got at the Dollar Tree, and I keep a lot of my stuff in here. Let's see what we got. I have extra cable for hard drives. On a computer hard drive, you have these different cables, and this is a regular cable, power cable for a laptop or a desktop. And then I have these USBs just in case I have to save anybody's information. I'll put it on here. I have all these ties. These are just you can get these anywhere. I get them in the dollar store. And these are zip ties, And if I'm working on building a computer, a gaming computer for someone, or I work on someone's computer and the wires are too close to something that's hot inside the computer, I'll tie it up and keep the wire away from any hot object, and then I'll wrap it around and then I'll cut the end of it. So it's good to have couple different sizes of these. I have little small ones, and I have these here. The little small ones are in there somewhere. And then I have these BIOS batteries. They're real cheap. You can get these online or in the dollar store. Every computer has a BIOS battery, and it's on the motherboard. And it can be a laptop or a desktop, but every computer will have a battery like this, and every 5 or 6 years it'll wear out. It'll go bad, and you have to change it. And what the battery does is it helps you keep the date and time settings in your CMOS. So what the CMOS is, it's a chip that's on your motherboard, and it keeps some information in there. And this is for these batteries will, work good and so when you turn your computer on, you see the date, the proper date, and you see the proper time. If your computer's time and date doesn't stay right, and even if you fix it, it never stays right, then you need to change the BIOS battery. And if you keep the computer running while you change it, if the BIOS battery's dead, then it doesn't matter if the computer's on or off. But if the computer's running and the battery's still good, you just want to change it. It's better to change it while it's running because you won't lose your settings. I found that out from another computer tech, which is a really good thing to know. Because if you don't do it, then you have to go into the BIOS and reset it. So I have that, and a basic, screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver. I have different sizes. This is basically a Phillips screwdriver you get anywhere, really. Home Depot, Lowe's, Dollar Store. And this is good for a desktop. This is just a perfect size to open a desktop computer and do things. And when you're dealing with smaller screws, then you need the little screwdrivers. And I have like 2 sets of them. You can get a set of these in Harbor Freight for like $10. All the different sizes, Phillips, regular. I have a couple sets. I have a set I keep in my car, so I have them in the car. Then I have a set at home, and they're flathead. They're all different little sizes too, because on computers sometimes you'll have the 5-star. A lot of Apple computers use this, and some regular computers use this 5-star one. So you got to have a couple different ones of those. So I have that also. Then I have this. Is a pretty handy thing that you can get in any Home Depot, Lowe's, or Harbor Freight. We have that, and it's a demagnetizer and a magnetizer. And what that does is you put your screwdriver in there, and you can demagnetize it. And then if you want to magnetize it, you just run it in there, and you keep it in there for a little bit. And then when you put a screw on, the screw will stay on there. It'll be a magnet for the screw. That's pretty neat. It's not expensive. It's only a couple dollars for one of these, but it's good to have if you're doing a lot of laptops and a lot of tedious work where you gotta put screws in different places, And then I usually carry alcohol or these alcohol pads just to clean off stuff like on the CPU, the processor. If you're gonna sometimes, like when you're gonna reseat it, what you do is you clean off the gunk that's on the processor. You take the fan off, clean off the gunk, and then you put some more of this stuff on. This is thermal grease. It helps keep the processor cool. You put a little layer of this on, and then you put the fan on top. It works on the desktop. That's what that's for. And I even have a magnetic thing just in case, because I have a carpet in my room. You can use this for just about anything screws that you lose. This one is actually kind of big. It's more for It's more for like, see, I just found the screw, so it really works good. I have carpet and a rubber mat, a plastic mat. So sometimes I'll drop screws and I'll need to find them. The one I use most is this one here because it's smaller. And, you know, again, you can get these in any hardware store. This one I'll probably never use, but I mean, unless I use it on a car, because this is more of a, or if it's a desktop where you lose a screw like way in the back. But this pretty much does everything, the smaller one. And it even has a little thing you can tilt. So that's another important thing. And then it's good to have a couple cheap wire cutters. I have a couple of these wire cutters, you know, just to cut wires. And then another one of these, you know, hard drive wires, cables. It's good to have a couple of them. Another thing that I keep, and it's pretty important because sometimes, most of the time, it's pretty hard to open up a laptop. They don't always want to open when you're taking it apart. A lot of times there's clips in there, so you got to have like something to be very gentle and pry it. And I have some of these plastic things where I try to pry it to get it started so I can take the laptop apart. And this one here is kind of neat because it has a little curve on it, and it helps you to take off little cable plugs on the laptop. And this is like a guitar pick, and you can also use this to wedge underneath between the laptop to try to take it apart. And then more screwdrivers. I have like a couple screwdrivers and some more wedging utensils because you never know if you're going to need them. And I don't normally need this, but years ago I used it a lot. A lot of people didn't have the 3 outlet on their cable in their house, so I would use this just to get a better ground and to plug their power cord in it for their desktop computer. But now most cables have a better ground, so you don't need it. This is very important when you're cleaning fans on a laptop or a desktop. Mostly a desktop because you can get inside the fans and clean the fans off in your heatsink fan, and it comes in handy. Also, it's good to have that, you know, that spray air, can air. I usually have that. I have to get another one. And then I have some more of these little screwdrivers, little Phillips, and some more of these plastic things. And this is a battery tester for these little cell batteries, the one I was showing you before. I have that. A couple more things to open up laptops with. And then I have a paper clip, and you probably wonder, what do you need a paper clip for? Well, it's kind of a tricky thing because when people get DVDs stuck in their DVD player, if you look really closely on your DVD player, there's a little hole in the front. And if you stick this pin in the hole and push it in, the DVD will open. And that's a little trick. Sometimes I used to make like $80 just to go to someone's house to go into their DVD and just to take it out because it got stuck. And they're like, really? You know, but that's how you get it out. Then I have these adapters. Sometimes you have adapters. This is like a smaller 15 pin to go to a DVI cable. So if you don't have the right cable, adapters will help. So I'll just put that over there. And then pencils, you always need a pencil. You can never have enough pens and pencils. You never know if you have to write something at a job or something like that. And then I have more of these pen drives here to save information. And Then I have a box with a lot more of these USB drives. And some of these USB drives have Windows 10 on it. Some of them don't have anything, but if you look at it, I have a bunch of them. Some are new, some are older. I can install Windows on a computer by using a USB. I have a lot of Windows versions here, and I have another one disk in here, USB in here that I could just download an operating system, and then you can purchase the license online. You can buy it from companies. They'll send you an email for a Windows license for like $15, and I'll do that. Getting tired, and I'll do that sometimes. Here's some more of these alcohol things, to clean stuff with. Very little screwdriver and a couple more screws, which they don't really belong here. I usually keep many other ones with the screws, so I'm going to move those over there. It's good to have all the screws in one spot. That way, if you need them, you don't have to worry about it. And then I have over here, I have a hub, which I use all the time. It's let me disconnect it. This is just a USB hub. You plug it in your computer and it gives you more ports, and plus, instead of always going to the back of your computer and plug them in, it's kind of a hassle. I just have this plugged in, then I plug in other things, right in the front. That's good to have. And then I have the external hard drive, which is good because I can save a lot of stuff to this. And also I have programs on here to clean people's computers with, and Office and Microsoft Suites and driver programs where I can install drivers on computers. So that comes in handy. And you always need a flashlight. Every computer guy gotta have a flashlight, a couple of flashlights. So I always have a little one and then a couple in my car. And what's another thing that's real important is a magnifying glass. I'm magnifying because a lot of times you can't really see a lot of this stuff that's written on a computer or underneath a laptop. So I got this like $8 on eBay, and it's pretty cool. I got my wife one too for her reading and everything. So I always have this, and believe me, it comes in handy. I have a light which you could put on your head. I don't really do that, but just in case I need it, sometimes I use it. I'll have that there. And then over here I have a wireless mouse I use on my other computer. I have a couple of them set up in here. So that's a wireless mouse for that. And I'm going to pause this video. I have a video planned. I've put everything back in here, so it's going to take... Try to put it in a little organized. I know you can't see it, but I'll lower it. Well, now I'm cutting myself out. But, yeah, I'm just putting everything back in. Because when I need it, I have to have all my screwdrivers in line to see which one I need, if it's a certain one I need. And just everything that I need is... It's good to have everything together when you're doing a job. I could just open this up and be like, bam, I have just about everything I need. I have other hard drives too, just in case I need a new hard drive. Somebody's hard drive is bad. I keep them. I have 3 or 4 SSD hard drives for repairs, so I keep them behind me in a bag, in a drawer. But if I need them, you know, I just take them out, take one with me, or if I have to go somewhere, I always take a couple hard drives, some extra memory. You never know when you're going to need that kind of stuff. So, I'm putting everything back in this, as I showed everybody. It's kind of not fitting, so I have to make it fit. I don't know how I had it fit before, but I'll get there. Just have to do a little finagling, moving stuff around. Okay. It's not perfect, but does the job. All the stuff fits in there. And I keep my handy flashlight on the side. It's always good to have. Never know when you're going to need it. I'm charging my phone. It's on 91, so that's pretty good. Right now, I'm just really trying to straighten stuff up, and when I run playlists, I write everybody's stuff down. Whenever I'm on the computer, I need to write down a website. I usually keep a few papers next to me so I can write everything down. And this is the keyboard that I normally use. It's a Logitech, and it's wireless, which is nice. It's a K400R if anybody wants to buy one. They're like $25, $30, and it's got the pad here. And, well, got something going on. I don't want to mess it up on this one. Yeah, it's got the pad here. And then I got a second one, which is a different brand, same brand, Logitech, but it's just a different model. It's a little bit, I think it's a little bit different. This one's shorter than the other one, but they're pretty much the same. I like these wireless keyboards. It's kind of like, I don't really care for laptops much because I don't like to use that whole scrolling thing. But when I fix people's computers, I usually use it, or I hook up a mouse. But it's nice to have that that little scroll thing. Like here, this has a scroll and then buttons, so you can pretty much do anything, just like your, wireless, and you can even put it on your lap and lean back and move around. This is actually a a power supply tester. It's just a little thing. It tells you what lights are lighting up, and it's just kind of neat to have. I'm gonna put this in here. What I usually do is I have a desktop power supply, and I keep it here, brand new. So if I think somebody has a bad power supply, I'll hook it up to their computer, and if it works, then I know the problem is the power supply. So it's always good to have these parts so you could, try different stuff. And this is another mouse that I like. I even sell these on Facebook Marketplace for $10. These are nice. They have the USB. It's a wired mouse, but it's a gaming mouse. It's not a high end. It's kind of cheap, but it has all these lights, and it has buttons on, 6 buttons on it. So it's kind of like a low-end gaming mouse, but a lot of people like them. And I use it when I test computers here. If a customer gives me a desktop, I'll put it over here in my testing area, and I'll test it on a little monitor, and I have a keyboard and a mouse here, and the power cables on the bottom, and it's all set up, and and I just test computers over there when I'm working on a desktop. If I'm working on a laptop, usually I'll do it like right here in front of me. I just make a little room and move it over, move stuff over, and then I'll work on the laptop in front of me. That way I can put my tools next to me and just work on the laptop on my desk, like right here. I'll just move everything, and then I'll just put the laptop in front of me. If I have to take it apart or check it out, whatever I have to do to it, that's what I do. My phone's about charged. 94 is good enough. And then the other thing on my desk, I keep just little trays. This is from, a soda bottle that I just cut off. And when I'm taking apart laptops, I put a lot of the screws in these little trays so I don't lose them. And also, another good thing to have is these little sticker things. They're only like $1. You can get them at the dollar store. That's why I got these. They're different color, and you can write on them, and they're stickers. So if you want to remember where you have to connect something, you can always write on there what it's for and stick it onto the area. So when it's time to connect it, if you're not sure, it's good when you're building a new computer or transferring different parts around and wires and things. You may need to use that. And I also have these sticker things too. I put these on. I use them for like the same reason. If I have to put a sticker on something, again, I get these at the dollar store, and they're like $1, $1.25. This is for my chair. I have a gaming chair that's not in the best condition. Sometimes I have to tighten it up, and this tightens up like everything on the gaming chair. And then I'll keep my papers over here, and my scrap papers. I have all these scrap papers that every time I want to write something, if I do playlists online, I have them. I have a couple pens. Always have a magic marker close by. And since I'm a big boxing fan, I have some of my favorite boxers written down here. So when I have some free time, I'll go on I'll go on YouTube and watch some of the fights, because I do like boxing. It's one of the things I like. I like to watch boxing. I don't fight. I never did, but I enjoy watching it as a fan. And over here I have another cam. You can see I have an extra camera and another keyboard for this computer, because I have this computer set up. So I have two computers here in front of me. And the left one I use for just basic stuff. The one I'm on now, I usually do recording or live streams, because this is a high-end gaming computer. This is like, here it is right there. It's a really big tower. So this is the one I use when I do like videos. But I've also made videos on my other one, but I have two of the same big towers. I have another one over here, and that TV screen over there is my second monitor. So it's a 32-inch TV, and I use that as a monitor when I want to watch it on a big screen, go online. So I have three computers set up at all times. I do have this one, the one I'm on now, and the one over here. I don't know if you can see it on the floor, but yeah, see it? That's the third one. It's a big tower, and that's on the floor. The one that I'm using now, I have it on the desk right next to me. The one over there is on the floor, and it's all wired behind it, and that's pretty much it for that. So, if you guys, I'm glad you guys watched the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great night. This is Mike from Mike's Computer Tips. I'll see you in the next video.